Hello, hello, hello. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whoever's watching this for the first time or replay, let us know in the comment section so we know how global we are. If this is your first time, my name is Mads, and I'm currently based here in Doha, Qatar. I'm originally from the Philippines, and me and my family have been here for 20 years, but I've been here for 15 years. Yeah, so yeah, my internet is kind of slow, I guess. But today I'm here with one of my inspiring business partner based in Canada, and her story really inspires me. I was watching some of her interviews, and it's really like inspiring, and we'll just hear from her and her story. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna introduce you my uh, business partner, Florence. Hello, hello, hello. I think you're mute. Wait. Hello, yes. So, hello, Florence.
Hello, hello.
Thank
How
you
are you
for
doing?
accepting my invite.
My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. Oh, I think we are frozen. So I don't know if they can hear you or if they can hear me. So I'm not exactly sure where we are right now, but I think,
I think my intro.
yeah, I think your internet is frozen, sis. So, viewers, welcome. Again, I'm not sure what.
Wait.
Oh, you know what? This always happens. Technology. So I guess I'm live by myself. So welcome everybody. I've been so excited to for this day to come on and share. I love when people step out and ask to come on and share about this business because I didn't know what this business was all about. I had no idea that this business even existed. And I'm just going to talk here. She said we notes here. I'm just going to talk here for a little while until she hops back in and then we can get this show on the road, as they say. So again, I didn't know that this business existed. I'm not going to tell you my story just yet. I'm going to wait for her to come back on and then we can share a little bit about it. But this is a platform where we basically come on and we get to talk about a little bit about our journeys, a little bit about ourselves, a little bit about what this community is all about, our training, and some amazing stories. I've met so many people in this online space, and it's absolutely incredible. We do work online. She's in Qatar right now. I'm in Canada. I'm in Alberta, Canada. And oh, here we go. I've just been chatting it up, talking and talking until you
Hi.
came back. I
This
didn't
is
I didn't say anything. I'm just basically talking about our platform and how amazing it is to meet with people across the world, and that's what this community is all about. So I'm going to let you take it away here again.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, have you? Is it done like introducing yourself? Sorry,
I didn't introduce
the
myself.
internet
I
is
didn't
not.
do anything like that because I wanted to make sure we were together before we got things going. And so again, I've just been blabbering on, kind of.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, but thank you again for accepting my invite. And I know it's really like impromptu, I would say, but like I said earlier, I was really inspired by your story, and I just want to know again. Like I want to hear it. Like now that I'm interviewing you live, so like how did you find this business?
Sure. So again, thank you for inviting me. I was saying before you got back on here, I love coming on and sharing about this business because I didn't know that there was something like this out there. And for those that are watching and you're feeling stuck, this might be the opportunity that you're looking for. I do believe if you're here for a purpose. It's not by accident. So First off, I am Florence. I'm here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm originally from Nova Scotia, so far east, but I moved out here when I was about 18 years old, looking for that dream, whatever that was. I ended up meeting my husband out here. We've been married for over 38 years. We have daughters, two little grandchildren, and my previous, I guess we'll say, career before I got into the digital space. I was a florist when my girls were little. I moved into the corporate world. So that's probably where my story starts. I worked in the corporate world for an airline here in town, and I did 18 years there. And, if we get into the story, I'll try to keep it a little bit brief, just so that we don't keep you here too long. I know time is precious. But I was there for a long time, and my story has two connections to it. So the first connection that actually flipped my mind in realizing that I need something else was when my husband was diagnosed with a critical illness. Before I got into the business, my husband and I were empty nesters. We had bought a house, an old fixer-upper, and we were taking our time, to build something that we finally had dreamed about our whole lives. And lo and behold, we get a call from his doctor, and he had to go in for surgery. It was the only way that my husband would be able to survive, really, was to go for surgery. And we didn't know anything about this. My husband was 57 at the time, so he's still a young man, healthy. It was just something that happened. And we went for surgery, and things didn't go too well. My husband actually ended up on life support 7 surgeries later, fighting for his life. And I remember sitting there thinking, what am I doing? Is this it? This can't be it. And I remember I never left his side for months on end. I didn't care at that point what was going on with my job. My sister helped me out with that. And I sat there praying for, a miracle. And lo and behold, the good Lord answered my prayers. And my husband actually got to come home. It wasn't without complications, though. He wasn't able to go back to work, but I didn't care about that because I had him. He was with me. Still a lot of struggles and battles and appointments. I eventually went back to work. Again, I worked for a reputable airline here in town, and I was there for 18 years. I made good money. I had great benefits because we still had things that we had to buy, purchase. We still do today, as far as medical, for what's going on with his health. And so I eventually went back to work. But I remember going back to work and trying to still organize my life around what was going on at home, because he was at home still trying to get well, still had appointments going on. And I just felt there was something that, trying to just sit at that office every day in a cubicle. I was in a cubicle. I sat in that cubicle for 8+ hours every day for 18 years. And I missed so much time, and I didn't want to miss any more time. I mean, I had almost lost him, and I'm thinking to myself, I have to work because I have to make money. I'm the only income now. We used up all of our savings and what we had when he was sick because I didn't go to work. But I'm missing him. I'm missing that time that I need to be with him. And, we were out taking a road trip. We love to get out and just get out to nature. And my boss called, and within a 10-minute phone call, my job was gone. So I talk about this two things that impacted my life. The fact that my husband got ill and it flipped our world upside down. And then the fact that I lost my job. And those two come together because after the struggles that we went through, seeing your loved one in that state, and then not being able to go back to work, still fighting to get well, and then losing the only income, they're together. And that was the turning point for me. That was, we call it here, the last straw. That was when I decided that I needed to step up. I needed to find something. And I wasn't looking for an online business. You know what I did? I Googled, how can I make money at home? And up popped an ad. And it was a gentleman out of Ontario, Canada, a businessman. And he just started telling me all these things that I could have with this business. And I was so afraid. I was so afraid to put my name and email because I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert by nature. I'm always at the, I'm at the back of the room. I've always got my hand down, but we had just been through a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges. And I thought, this is a sign. This is what I've been looking for. And I jumped in, and I needed something that put me in control. I find sometimes in life we get put in situations where either it's because of the way we were brought up. I was brought up in a in an era where if you wanted to be successful, then you had to have a good job. You had to have more than one job. And if you wanted more money, then you just kept working harder and harder. And that's so different than what this business opportunity offers. And it was so outside of my comfort zone. I had no idea what I was doing, but I needed to have control. I couldn't allow somebody else, again, to decide for whatever reason that, I wasn't going to have a job tomorrow. The idea for me of building something that could fit with my lifestyle, with my values, and start, with people that already knew what they were doing. It was just it was a no brainer for me. I had to look into it. So, and, that was over 3 years ago, and here I am now.
Yeah, that was really wonderful. Thank you for wait. My cat just off my camera. Oh my god, why? But thank you for being so, how do I say, being so vulnerable. I wait, not my cat. Wait, this I will just continue talking while I'm fixing this. But I do understand because, like, there are things that we cannot really control in life,
Mhm.
and especially that, um, this kind of stuff, like our health when it comes to, sorry, when it comes to like sudden happening, it's so hard to just walk away also from work because we needed money, right? So we will be torn between work and then our personal problems. But again, we still have to move forward and
Mhm.
just continue what's coming. So yeah, thank you for that. But then you were not afraid about, I mean, we're on online space, and knowing at your age, it's kind of, um hard to cope up with stuff, especially a lot of people at your age is not so tech savvy, right?
I
Have you
can't speak for anybody else. I mean, I guess it depends on what their career is. Um, yeah, for me, I was not tech savvy. If I absolutely was not tech savvy, and I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. But when you said there, you said something there about people not knowing. I didn't know what this was about. I had no idea what this business was about. I wasn't tech savvy. My age, yes. I was in my late 50s when I started this business. Although I didn't know anything about the online business, I think people our age sometimes are a little bit underestimated. We have a lifetime of experience and knowledge and skills and know-how. I didn't know how to, run an online business, but that didn't stop me. I was more afraid of not taking the chance, not finding out more information,
that
than
was
staying where I
really,
was. Yeah.
yeah, that was really, like, I would say I really like that courage because it's kind of hard to trust, because, like, for example, my mom and some other business owners here are very skeptical to the point that they just don't want to join,
Mhm.
right? So um but yeah, you still went in, go ahead, signed up and joined this, how do I say, join this community and What was your breakthrough?
My breakthrough? Well, first, when you talk about skeptical, I just want to touch on that for a second. I don't think, and again, if we're looking at age, people our age, um, I think because we're traditional, we didn't know anything about the online space. I can remember there wasn't even a computer in my house when I was growing up. That was outside. I don't even think we had a cell phone or mobile phone or anything like that. So being skeptical, that's just part of who we are, of how we were built in generations before us, because it was the unknown. I think it's like anything. If you don't know something, you're probably going to be a bit skeptical about it. But then I guess it's up to you. It depends on how, what is it that you want in your life? I didn't want anybody else controlling my time. I didn't want anybody else controlling. And I guess when you talk about breakthrough, this was it. I didn't want anybody else deciding if I had a job tomorrow, deciding what my worth was going to be, deciding how to, like I said, I sat in that cubicle for 8+ hours every day. And the thing is, with the commute, well, let's talk 10 hours. So somebody had complete control over what I did for 10 hours every single day for 18 years. They decided when I went to lunch, they decided when I clocked in, they decided how many days I was allowed to have for vacation to spend with my family, who means the most to me. They decided, what percent I was going to get as far as a raise if I got a raise. Like that was the breakthrough for me. When they let me go, I decided right there and then nobody will have that much control. Absolutely nobody. And again, it's so different from how I grew up. I grew up in, a traditional family. My mom stayed inside the house. My dad worked, and my dad got sick. Then my mom had to go outside the house and work. But again, we always worked for somebody else. We always worked for somebody else. So not knowing what I was jumping into was so scary. Absolutely so scary, especially with, again, look at my age, absolutely no tech skills whatsoever. I didn't even know fully what this business was about, but I knew if I didn't take control right then and there, somebody would be, pulling those strings for the rest of my life. And that's something that I just could not have anymore.
Yeah, that's so like great. Sorry earlier because my cat just disconnected my camera and my computer and I cannot find the connection. I'm like, what? Why?
You
He's
know what? It's
jumping
real
in.
life. We're
Yes,
just
he's
everyday
jumping on
people.
my computer, like on my desktop. The CPU. Why now? But anyhow, thank you for that. And because like recently I've interviewed also like people from your age, and it's so hard to teach them because they're not tech savvy. I mean, I'm grateful because I'm in the online space. My work, as a graphic designer, I'm not like technical, but at least I know the basic, right? So I thought like when I jumped in this business, if they can do it, why can't I? I mean, I'm more tech savvy than them. I'm more tech savvy than these people, especially like a lot of Filipinos are also in the community, and I saw there's a huge um ethnicities people, and not just Filipinos but all over the world. So in the beginning I was also skeptical, like what if this is just another no brainer, like lies, scam and all. But after like few weeks I was like, just i I mean I keep on questioning the person who invited me. I tried to even tested her by asking so many questions, and then like testing her patience even if this person is real, because I've seen also a lot of businesses that they are using Filipinos, but it's not real. They're taking their photos, their videos, but it's not real. So That's why I'm testing her, seeing, checking if this is real, the business, the community, and all. And I was just, sitting on the fence for quite some long, like not so long as others, like they are been fence sitter for like almost a year, but for me it's like almost a month. It's like we have this 30 days refund rule, right? I think I dive into the business after like 25, 26, 27 days. I was that also skeptical, but then I was like, if this is worth a shot, then I really need to, work on this.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? When you talk about being tech savvy, it doesn't matter if you're tech savvy, and it doesn't matter your age, as long as you're over 18. I know some people that are much younger than me. Like I'm talking 20 years younger than me. So probably even younger than you or around your age that are not tech savvy at all. But it doesn't matter because in this business, our training, we have everything. And that's what really attracted me. Like there would be no way. I didn't even know how to, I knew how to take a picture on my phone. That was about it. I worked on a computer in the airline business, but that was strictly for the airline business. So it was a different program altogether. But it took me a while to learn that. It probably took me about 5 or 6 months to learn that. So with anything, we have the best of the best. We're talking 6 and 7 figure earners, in the online space that have put together a training system that you can follow. I'm very visual based, so it's a video based training system that you can follow. So it doesn't matter your age. Not everybody my age is tech savvy, but not everybody your age is tech savvy either. So that really is no bearing on it whatsoever. The fact that we have a guided plan, a blueprint that we hand you, the most important thing that I've come to learn is that you have to be open. You have to be open and willing to follow the steps of somebody else that's successful. So if you're not coachable, if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to put some work in, it doesn't matter if you're tech savvy or not. It's not going to work for you. And it's in your hands. We have everything that you need, but when it comes down to it, you're the one that has to do the work. We'll guide you. We'll show you how to get to that success. It's there. It's proven. We have a large global community. It's absolutely proven. But unless you put that work in, unless you follow those steps of the ones that are successful, they say follow the giants, then it doesn't matter if you're tech savvy or not. That has no bearing. We have everything. It's like a business in a box. We hand it to you. You just have to show up and put the work in.
Yeah, especially now that we have recently launched like a lot of translations and how do I say, like the subtitles, right? So it's not even just you should know English and all, because it's been translated as well. I mean, what I really like about, our system is that it's constantly updating.
Yeah.
Right? Especially the online space, it's a fast paced world. I've been there. And like recently now, Instagram just changed their size. Like you have, like as a graphic designer, you also need to revise all these sizes, which is like, why? Why now? Like, why did Meta change now? And obviously, even our training sites, trainings, it's constantly updating, and not just the training sites, even the community people are also helping that. So I really like that, and that you can reach out to a lot of people 24/7. So if your mentor is not available, you can just always ask another person, and 24/7 they're available. Someone will answer you no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? And in the
It's
beginning, even my phone constantly like ring, pop, 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 pop messages because of this.
Yeah,
So
it's a community like no other. It really is. And I didn't know what to expect when I jumped into this. I really didn't know what to expect. But I can honestly tell you, it's different than working in the corporate world. And I've had some great bosses, I've had some great leaders, but I've also had some that are not so great. But in this community, I haven't met anybody. I haven't met anybody. I've been around for a few years. I've met a lot of people offline, met a lot of people online. I haven't met anybody that is there just for themselves. They're there, yes, I'm here to, I jumped in this because I wanted the time and I wanted the financial independence, but it became so much more than that. And that's what I've noticed about this community. It's there for, it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter your age, you have to be 18 at least. It doesn't matter if you're tech savvy, it doesn't matter if you know how to take a picture, it doesn't matter, where you've worked or your religionist background or anything like that. It's there for everybody. It's there and you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. You don't need any qualifications other than being 18. You don't need any degrees. And everybody in that community that I've come across so far is so uplifting, so encouraging, so inspiring, and they're there to help you succeed. And I've never had anything like that before in the corporate world. And it's just so refreshing to be part of something that has the same values as I have and is so transparent. I find it's just so transparent in allowing you to be who you are, to be authentically who you are. I come on here, sometimes I joke around, sometimes I'm, serious, but I am who I am. Your message will reach the right person. Your message will reach the right person, because if you have a message in sharing this business, the right person will find it. It might not be today or tomorrow, but the right person will find it. And that's I love this. I love everything about this business.
I totally resonate to that. I mean, the person who invited me, I did not resonate with her story. I mean, she's a mom. I'm not a mom. I'm not an immigrant, so I don't know her hardships as an immigrant at all. So that's why sometimes whenever she also asked me about her videos and stuff, I said, I cannot really relate because I don't know the struggles of being an immigrant. But when I look back, what I like about, why I dive into this business is because of the automation.
Oh,
It's the business thing. So she's also a tech. I mean, not she came from a IT background. She's an IT professional and I'm a graphic designer, so we're both in a tech savvy industry. So that's the common ground that we have. Not her story, but we have this common ground. So that's why. And I really like that the community is really helpful, even if they're not gonna earn from you or something. Everybody is just so approachable. Right? So, and that's like, wow, for me. For me, integrity also, the community is really a plus bonus. So that's why. And thank you for that. And before anything else, I mean, the next one is what Florence before and versus now. Who was she and who is she now?
yeah, she's well, I still look the same. I still look
Not
the
the
same.
physical one, but the
Yeah, I
other.
still look the same. Sometimes my husband or my kids will say, "You did that? Like, what are you doing?" Because I was never. You would never see me on social media. Absolutely never. I was nowhere to be found. Absolutely, you wouldn't even find a picture of me on Facebook or any other platform. I guess before, I was in that 9 to 5 grind. Like I said, I sat at a cubicle for 10 hours a day for 18 years. Before that, I was a florist. That was even longer hours, different times of the year. And I think when I think about it, I had very little control over my life. Like I said, somebody for 10 hours a day, just for my last career, had complete control over everything I did. They even, when you think about it. How can you allow somebody to have that much control when, say, you need to go to an appointment or, you need to spend some time with your family or you need a day off? Like we had sick days and things like that. But I would feel so guilty if I didn't show up for work because I thought, again, that's how I was programmed. That's how I grew up. You show up for work. You don't. I remember for years I would never miss a day. Never miss a day. Yes, I'd get a pat on the back or I'd get my 1% or 2% raise increase if I was lucky enough. I just allowing somebody to have that much control. I didn't realize it because we get on that hamster wheel of life. We have to pay our bills. And yes, jobs are great. If you love your job, then all the power to you. But it wasn't for me anymore. That absolutely wasn't for me anymore. And that wake up call with my husband getting ill and then me losing my job. We always say, I believe, the good Lord puts us here for a reason. And it's not to be sitting at a desk working for somebody else. We have a much bigger purpose in life. Much bigger purpose in life. And this business, what I am now, this business has opened my eyes to so much more, to really loving who I am, really appreciating, the person I am and feeling worthy of having more. It was one of my big struggles. Again, I grew up in a Catholic home. You just be grateful for what you have and you shouldn't want anything else. But again, I honestly believe we're here for something bigger than that, to serve for the good Lord. And knowing that you're worthy of having more, he wouldn't have put you here. He doesn't put us here to just go work for somebody else. He puts us here to be the best that we can. And so now, like, my mindset is completely different. And coming from an employee to an entrepreneur, that takes a little while when it comes to, realizing in your mindset, because it doesn't happen overnight. I've worked since I was probably 15 years old. It's a long time to be working for somebody else. You can't just switch your mind, in 6 months or a year. You have to work on it every single day. And understanding that you're so worthy of having more, I think, is the first step. So yeah, without a question, my life has completely changed now, and I still have so much further to go. My big goal is to share this, I share it with passion. I think of, if I hadn't have seen the ad that my mentor had put out, what if he hadn't have decided to take that bold step and share it? I may never have ever found this. I'd be stuck somewhere, worried about my husband, not seeing my family, again, under somebody else's, thumbnail telling me when and where to go and when and where to come. So I share this, and my goal is to help the one that you right now, that you're watching this, you're catching it on replay, or you find it somewhere, that there is another way in life. It's your life. You get to choose what that looks like. This business, this is just a vehicle to allow you to get to that, so that you get to choose exactly what it is that means the most to you. If it's sitting at home and helping somebody else, if it's traveling, if it's paying off your debt. I've seen so much in this business, and I could go on and on because I love everything about this. It's almost like finding a secret recipe or something that you've been trying for so long, and you finally got that success. You're going to share that with somebody. When you find something that has changed your life completely, you have to share it. You have to share it. You're doing a disservice if you don't. So my life is so different, and I can't even imagine not being part of this. And I wouldn't definitely be here if it wasn't for the people in this community, if it wasn't for everybody that's, supported me when I didn't even believe in myself, because that's part of life. You don't always believe in yourself, So it's about the community. It's about the training. It's about the people that are there to help you. And, we've got that right here. Reach out and find out what that next step is, because you'll be so happy and so excited when you get on the other side of being in control of your life, being in control of your future, being in control of your finances. It's just life
I really
changing.
like what you've shared earlier, that like the story about when you have something personal, like for example, you have an appointment, like for example, a medical appointment, you have to ask permission to your bosses and all. And I did that. And there were times that I get rejected from work. Like, why? This is more important to me
Yeah.
than the work. Then that's also like my warning that why do I need to always ask them when, I mean, I've been a workaholic even before, like to the point that I've been working nonstop for, I think, continuously 43 days, 7 days
Yeah.
a week. I did that before, and where it got me nothing. Like,
Yeah.
to the point that there was a time that I left the office around 5 a.m. and I have to come back the same day. And one of my colleagues was even calling me, asking me where I am, even though I told them I needed to be attending an appointment. It's like I don't have any freedom. They're controlling me. Like, no, this is not what I want. I want at least to work where I can work at the same time I can do my stuff. You know?
Yeah.
And since I'm a graphic designer and I know there's a way online that I can work digital, and that's why I really like the being I'm wanting to be a digital nomad one day. That's one of my goal before. But working for someone else, even remotely, is the same thing. So
Mhm.
that's why I wanted a business of my own. That's I know I'm very young, but I guess it helped because my parents have been here for 2 decades. So I've seen their struggles.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of happenings as well. So as the next generation, I wanted that to be improved. And I
Absolutely.
wanted a better life for my future family, you know,
Yeah.
not just for them. Obviously, I need to also supplement their income by the time comes now that my dad is now a retired architect, and soon to be my mom will also be a retired nurse. So I wanted to prepare, but how can I help them if I cannot lift myself up first? Right? So that's why I wanted to be selfish for now. And so later on, I can help these people in the longer run and my family as well.
Oh my goodness.
So,
You've touched on so many things there, and you're not selfish, first off. Like you talk about being so young. I only wish that this was around, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, um, so that you say you're young, and there's not a better time for you to. I'm so glad, first off, you found this. Like I'm, because
yes,
I'm just so glad, because this is life changing income that you can earn your passive income. And I know actually a couple here. There's a few stories that come to my mind. I'm not going to go on too long because I think we've been on here for a while. But I know there's a couple here in town. Her biggest dream was to be able to retire her mom. They've only been in the business for 5 years. They were able to quit their corporate jobs. One was, I think, was in finance. Her husband was a manager, I believe, a district manager or an office manager. I can't remember. They both quit their jobs. They're good paying corporate jobs. I think within 2 years, 2.5 years, they bought a house and paid it off. So we're talking probably the house was over $500,000 and paid it off within 3 years of being in this business. But her dream was to retire her mom, and she got to do that last year. She retired her mom last year. Her mom doesn't have to work again. Her mom's probably 61 or 62 or something like that. And now she's off traveling, enjoying life. So I'm just so, so happy, and I'm so excited for you, because you can do this. You can absolutely do this. I've seen it. And that's just one couple I've seen. Another thing that you talked about was you needed a day off, and you worked all these days or whatever. I can remember when my girls were younger, when I first got into the airline business, um, I had to work Christmas Day, and I was devastated. I was absolutely, I think my kids were 7 or 8 at the time. I was devastated. So I had to pay somebody under the, you weren't allowed to do that because they wouldn't give me the day off. I paid somebody to take my shift so that I could be home with my kids. So not only did I have to pay somebody out of my pocket, but I lost a day's pay just so that I could be home with my kids so I wouldn't miss that time because somebody else had that control. So you are in the right place. You are absolutely in the right place. And for those who are watching, this is an opportunity that is just unbelievable. It can be for whatever your story is, whatever your why is. We have everything you need. Like it's amazing, life-changing what this business can do for you.
Yeah, thank you. I also have a lot of story to share. I think we are both can resonate with that, but we've been
Yeah.
talking for long, so we can
Yeah.
talk some another day for
Yeah.
that. And thank you again, Florence, for accepting my invite for today. And yeah, if you're interested to watch this and just reach out to me, message me, or sign up on my website, which is madsangeles.com, and we will send you all the details. Right? So thank you, Florence, and see you on my next live. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.